channels, it's a sight to see. Singing, hosting, bringing the vibe. Every word they drop electrifies the tribe. On YouTube and X, they leave their mark. A rising star, igniting the spark. Toasting, musty, burning bright. Rocking the world in the dead of night. Voice of thunder, heart of gold. A legend in the making, bold
We're trying to get to $100, guys, and we can do a Wall Street.
From live streams to collabs, they're in the mix, turning conversations into magic tricks. A spark of joy, a creative flair. Toasties out here spreading everywhere. With the mic in hand, they're owning the scene. Riding the rhythm of this rockin' dream. From rumble to the chat, the passion flies. Bringing people together under endless skies. Toasting musty,
Shimmy, 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 shimmy.
in the dead of night. Voice of thunder, heart of gold.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Bold and old. Legends in the making, bold.
Who the fuck made that profile?
With a mic in hand, they're owning the scene. Riding the rhythm of this rockin' dream. From rumble to the chat, the passion flies. Bringing people together under endless skies.
It is Alyssa!
Toasting musty, burning bright. Rocking the world in the dead of night. Voice of thunder, heart of gold. A legend in the making, bold and old.
Yes! Hi, Alyssa, you dumb cunt.
The lights ignite too. Toasties live tonight.
Chats on fire, the emotes fly. Sparks in the lens and glitter in the sky. She hits that cue and the music booms. A blaze of color lights up the room. Hype so hot it melts the air. Laughs and chaos everywhere. Every tear a brand new show. Turn up the volume, watch it blow. Explosion. It's Toasty Shiggly time. Feel the heat, the wild emotion. Lights of flashing, hearts collide. We're riding the flame, can't hide the vibe. Explosion. It's Toasty Shiggly time. Turn it up, pure devotion. Fire in the chat, let the good times roll. It's a blaze of fun and a rockin' soul show.
Alerts are ringing, the crowd goes loud. She owns the stage, commands the crowd. Every move electric charms, setting off sirens, raising alarms.
No scripts, no shame, just streaming art. A little mischief, lot of heart. It's laughter, flare, and streaming flame. When Toasty drops, it's never time. Turn down the lights, here comes the glow. That countdown's ticking, ready to blow. 5, 4, 3, feel the tension climb. She strikes the pose, it's fire time. Explosion. It's Toasty Shiggly time. Every spark, pure devotion. The chat's ablaze, the night's alive. The streams a storm, the vibes a drive. Explosion. It's Toasty Shiggly time. game she played. Laughs echo through the digital sky. Flames spell out explosion.
Don't touch that dial. Be prepared to warm yourself up to some entertainment. Get lubricated, as it were. As this is about to blow your mind. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the Gooner Squad, hosted by the Toasty with the Mosty.
Did you click on that? That was an extra one because I just. Anyways. Hi, chat. Hi, guys. We got John here.
Yeah. I didn't even have my mouse anywhere near the studio at the time, so I don't know what was going down. But hey, thanks so much for the raid. Cancel this podcast. Much
Thank
appreciated.
you.
Right
Hi,
out of the gate,
guys.
as we were coming through in the intro. Much appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Indeed. And thank you as well, Psycho Magus, for coming in, I'm assuming, on the raid train. Of course, we got Roadkill here as well.
I like a train.
Do you usually wait on a white couch while you wait to get to it? Anyways, welcome in, everyone. It is Taco Tuesday time with Toasty.
Yes.
Who are we enjoying some nice tacos with this evening, Toast?
I mean, you guys know we always have a special guest on here. And we have one tonight. It's Vaughn Coleman.
Indeed.
How's it going?
Hey. One of my illegitimate internet sons.
Yes.
You ugly.
Oh. Welcome
Indeed.
to me, I guess.
No, you're more like a version of me if I had actually been successful in life. So it's great to have you here.
Fingers crossed, man. It's oh man, startup costs with a business. Every time I'm like, oh, look at the money I made. Then it's like, I
Right
gotta
back
get
out
more.
again. Yep.
Like, I'll give you an example. Even today, I'm like, oh man, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm like, oh, I'm almost out of business cards. Which is a great problem to have. Don't get me wrong. Ain't me bitching. I'm like, oh yeah, I just gotta. I mean, I do like oversized ones because they're art.
Right.
Right.
It's
like,
yeah.
it's
Well,
done
that
as
and
an
also
ad
makes
for my
them
comic.
distinguished, which is
Yeah.
you always want to set yourself apart with your business cards.
Yeah.
I will not be running out of business cards anytime soon. They are out of date, unfortunately, but I have probably a
Yeah.
400 or
so
500 from 20 years ago when I was in art school. So yeah.
I'm like, you know
Business
what?
card?
I gotta get a lot of them. Damn. Well, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, that's a.
So I used to. Okay, so when I couldn't find a job, I used to sell Avon. And I
What's
have my
that?
little business cards.
Damn, Avon. Is that
Yeah.
Should I know this? Avon.
It's like.
Oh, it's
Ma-
skincare.
like-
Okay, so
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
normal
it's
stuff.
it's
Okay,
facial products
okay.
for ladies and things
All right,
like
so
that.
it would have been gay if I had known that.
Right, right.
All right, cool.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's for
yeah.
ladies.
I would have accepted you knowing about Amway.
The way
The only
you
reason
said
I
it,
knew
I thought
about
you were like, I
Avon is
used to
because I
sell-
had a sister-in-law who used to sell it when I was a teenager.
The
It was
way
big
you
I
as
said
find
it,
it.
you
It's
said,
'cause
like,
for
Avon,
me-
you made it sound like a drug. Like, I sold Avon. I'm like,
No,
is that
for
like, what's that,
me.
a street name?
What it is though, they have good products, but when I think of Avon, I think of old ladies. But they have great products. Now they have products for younger women and stuff too as well. But I don't know. I just have that in my head that me telling people I used to sell Avon is, embarrassing. But I don't know. I don't know. No, yeah, skincare. That's it. It's not drugs.
And that's interesting.
I mean,
I
I
mean,
don't
now
know.
I might sell sex toys as well.
Yeah,
I've been getting messages.
yeah. Are we actually going to be getting some sponsors here? Because Lord knows I could use some grocery money.
Can't we all, dude? Can't we all?
Indeed. Oh, and hey, it's my other illegitimate internet son. Well,
See, I'd
this
have
is
questions about that
awkward.
one. Dude, he always starts. So here's the thing with him. Like I like when he goes into my chat and starts bringing these things up. I know I'm like, you got to pay for me to read that shit, MSK. Like I'm not. That's what I do with him when he's in my chat.
He actually pays you to read his super
His
chats?
stupid super chats. Yes, he pays like what I.
And
ignore
I'm
him for
here
too
doing it
long.
for free.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta, that's a good way to do it. By the way,
Motherfucker.
MSK is a rare case. I tell this all the time. He backed my book, and I still somehow lost money on the book because I had to ship it to him, print it, ship it to him. He lost it. I print it, shipped it again. This was years ago. This is Phenomenova issue 1. We are on issue 4 now. He still hasn't read the book. And he goes, "Will it get me laid?" I'm like, "Sure, dude. Yeah."
He's all about like fucking.
He's
wants
not, though.
to-
I went to the.
That well,
I think he says he is, but I
I
don't
mean,
think he is.
his father here always humble bragging about like having sex with women and having threesomes and everything. And look,
Yeah,
John, your son
none
can't
of
even
that
get laid.
happens.
What's going on? You
None
haven't
of that
taught him much.
happens.
Look,
It seems
look,
like
look,
you left
look.
and you never came back to.
Look, there, notice how we're having Vaughn on first. I know you're not supposed to say that you have a favorite amongst your illegitimate internet children, but
Problematic white guy
Of course.
betraying me. Wow. Okay, I see how it is.
No. I see.
you're
That's
his
why we had you on
favorite.
first.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're
This is
his
best?
favorite. I mean,
thought you were supposed
you
to say
are
the
the
best
one
for
with the white
last.
skin, blue eyes, and blonde hair. After
Well,
all,
I mean, to be fair, he had me on his show. He did actually ask me again at the beginning of the year. He's like, "Hey, when you coming on again?" I was like, "Oh, just let me know." And he hasn't gotten back to me since. So I might just be in a little bit of a mood, But
He is very good at getting people on his show. Like I'll be mid-interview, like, "Oh, some guy, Master Swag King, just invited me on his show." I'm like, He's
right.
very
I
good
he
at just
just
picking.
not
people.
me. Like I feel like
That's
I'm
weird.
surprised that people have been saying yes to me now, and I'm like, wow, real? Like you actually want to be on my show? I feel
I
like
didn't know what I was getting into, to be honest. So we'll see.
I've been here for over a year and a half now, and I still don't know what I'm getting into exactly.
None of that is happening, MSK. That is not occurring. None of it.
You have to
is
believe
he
to
asking
achieve.
how
Yeah.
he lasted to him?
I
Is
don't
he
know. I think he just types. There we go. See what I mean?
See? Yeah.
And again, you're reading this all for free. Let the record show. If you ignore him for too long, he starts super chatting you. At least in my case.
Oh well, John.
Oh,
stop
okay.
highlighting
All right.
his
Well,
messages.
I mean, yeah. In that
Or
case,
maybe
Thank
he
you for
doesn't.
that.
I don't know. Maybe he only does that
yeah.
with me.
Thanks for that
Thank you
tip.
for
yeah.
that. For that tip.
I mean, you can't. Sorry, I don't mean to go against you, MSK. Of course.
I mean, you're helping me out.
Dude, my interview with him to promote my comic, we're like 20 minutes in, and he keeps talking about like sex positions. I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to plug my book. I'm like, oh my God. Like, if you go watch my last interview with him, I'm like, dude, what are you saying? It was so funny. It was a good time. MSK has a good show, I will say.
It's fun. I've been on.
I mean, I
that
feel
before.
like whenever I was on his show, I felt like a little puppy humping my leg. That's what
That
it
sounds
felt
about
like.
right. That sounds
Yeah.
about right. We love you, MSK.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indeed.
Even if you are black.
Right.
Sweet Jesus. Oh,
So.
that's fucking funny.
I mean, clearly, I have to love him. I guess he is.
Because you're
No,
sad.
you don't.
Right? Wait, are you the white
I
father
mean,
who left?
what's this?
Are you the white father who left, MSK?
This is the lore. That's what I mean. Like that's why I was
So
saying.
whenever
I
he goes around telling people that, it's John.
yeah.
He's the wife daddy.
Fascinating.
Indeed. Oh, we do actually have someone here who is dropping some big money.
Dropping
Thank you,
stacks.
Roadkill, for the
Thank you.
$5.
Dude, in this
Thank
economy,
you.
I mean, anything counts, dude.
Indeed,
Yeah,
indeed.
that's what
I
I'm
have
saying.
my comics on like a website, and I'm like, oh, I made 30 cents today. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah,
Right, right.
I'll take
yeah,
it, dude.
I know
yeah.
everyone here on the panel certainly thanks you, and of course, most of all, the master of the Foot Clan himself.
Thank you for the $5.
That was fucking great. Wow. Never seen that one. Oh man. I was on New
Yeah.
Blackstreet the other
I know. I seen.
week. Day.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was fun. I was laughing so hard. I forgot. I went there to promote my campaign. I forgot to even pull up and show off my book. It was so.
Well,
funny,
feel free to
dude.
do that at any point in
I
time
will.
tonight if you need to bring anything on screen
But
or
it
whatever.
was so funny. Dude. Those guys are two of the funniest motherfuckers. Love that show.
They're really nice.
Yeah,
I used to be on that show.
Yes.
It was fun.
MSK.
But
I keep trying to get MSK on, but he's banned.
I we could tolerate his weirdness because like
Well, you put up with his dad. Throughout the
I
movie.
mean I could tolerate it for so long. John is a little more patient compared to me.
To be fair,
Um,
like he could blame some of that on. I'm still out getting coffee and cigarettes, and I'm on my way to the store. I'm almost.
Almost
I'm
there.
this close to the milk aisle. So
You'll get there.
I'll get there soon. One of these days.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah. But yes, it is some interesting times here in the old internet space, to say the least.
I've noticed there's some all kinds of stuff going on. I was listening to a documentary, and every once in a while I'm like, all right, there's only so much, I could take. Like I'll listen to it in the car, and I'm like, is this often when I get to the internet drama? Sometimes if I need mindless slop, I'll put on because Casino, they can talk for 40 minutes about a 2-minute clip, and I'll be thoroughly entertained. And I'm like, that was 40 minutes? But sometimes I'll be listening to, and I'm like, dude, I could be listening to like an audiobook or anything else. I don't know. Sometimes it gets like that.
Right, right. Oh,
they
yeah, no.
are fun to listen to. I will say that when I'm taking a shower, I like to put them on and listen to them while I shower.
Oh, I'm sure Worski would like to know
Who's the
that
Casino
you spend
Boys?
time with him while you're wet and naked. You should let him know that, Toasty. He does follow you.
Oh yeah, I got a follow from him.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So you should just let him know that you spend time with him wet and
Yay.
naked.
I'm sure he'd appreciate
throughout the
that.
week. I'm sure he'll love to hear that.
Casino Boys.
Shout out to him. Thank you for
Yeah.
the follow, Worski.
Indeed, indeed. But yes, we are in some interesting times, to say the least. Yeah. Although I do hope that it does not actually spiral out into full-on internet drama of hive-minded, kind of
Yeah, it tends to
insanity
be-
where people are like, "Oh, you have this association with this person," because our again, I think the big issue, obviously, of what's currently going on is no one has any problem with who you're friends with. It's when something's going on in the chat that you should probably be somewhat up to date on, to say the least.
I mean, I haven't
or
even,
or,
I'm
or
not
at least
up to
willing to kind of try to figure that stuff out on the fly when things happen. We've all had streams go awry for one reason or another. Obviously last year around this time we were dealing with the Mercanti creature for
Fucking rat face bitch.
right for all of her internet dealings. And then later on in the summer, JDA showed up on my FFS Discord, and that ended up kind of being like a whole bunch of nothing over the course of 2 hours in the midst of a live stream. But we just dealt with it at the time because it was actually happening. But the way that one happened, it probably would have been better just to be like, oh yeah, it's going on, I'll look at it after the end of the stream. And I ended up, on something that is insignificant. By the time we had our next stream, I was apologizing to the chat for putting everybody just through something that was so needlessly tedious and ultimately just kind of like a nothing situation, because it's like it's JDA who really cares. And because that's what I told him was like, dude, you're showing up my Discord goes to show just how insignificant you currently are if this is what you think is going to be the thing that's going to get you any kind of activity today. This is kind of like the death knell for your whatever, like lolcow status. And so, but when things like that go on, you kind of do actually have to deal with it, especially somebody that, you would think would be geared for it. But, I don't know. I don't have any problem with Chrissy beyond the actions that she kind of took in handling the situation, but her associations with who she gets along with and everything like that. There's a lot of people that I have differing opinions on a lot of things in this space, and it doesn't mean that I have hate or disdain for anybody. It's like we all are coming from different positions everywhere in this whole thing.
I'm the opposite. I hate a lot of people.
Right. Well, I used to be really angst-ridden in my youth, but I don't know. It's somewhere along.
So you're calling yourself old, John?
You're edgy.
I'm wizened. I'm a wizard. I've been beaten up by the hard knock road of life, and so I've grown wise and hard over a long enough period of time that it turned into being.
He's grew hard. You hear that every day.
Yeah, he got hard. No, I mean, look,
Hey, man. Worked in how many porn shops?
The internet will do that fast, dude. I thought before I got psycho obsessed hate mobs, I'd at least move out of my mom's house before I got crazy stalkers. But lo and behold, they're here already.
Indeed.
So, you never know.
It's a sign of talent, skill, and ability. If you
evidently, I guess so. Which that's a compliment in itself. And here's the thing. I've talked to people that have dealt with this kind of thing. Often, this stuff doesn't affect your bottom line. Because I think the instinct is always like, it's not so much anymore. Someone lies because one of the things, like for example, narcissists, if they want your attention, they'll lie about you,
right? Because
they want you to correct the record and then keep coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back. It's part of. You see that all the time, and I think that's one of the main things you kind of have to learn to deal with. Is people are going to the truth, usually will win. I mean, look, bad things happen, but oftentimes, I believe the truth wins out.
In some ways, but look, there's the thing though about the truth though. Truth is just kind of the mass perception, common held belief, that is promoted, but the actual count is usually something.
Well, it depends on what you. I don't want to get philosophical or whatever. It depends.
Go ahead. John loves that.
Yeah.
He talks to me about a whole bunch of stuff, and I try to listen.
It depends on. Are we talking divine truth? Are we talking objective truth? Are we talking social truth?
Well, there's all sort. Well, that's the thing. That's what I mean by truth. Truth is a little bit more malleable than an honest account.
It depends on how you define truth. If truth is objective, then it's not really that malleable, is it? You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. I feel like.
Right. But
wait a minute. I feel like John came back from the future to this time to talk to you about don't give up your dreams, and if you do,
so I'm saving him.
I don't know who's saving who.
All right, so
I think he's trying to save you from becoming your future him.
Okay, so we're gonna save the world together on this stream, John.
We're gonna work. So 20 some odd years ago, I wrote a story about how I was going to be a guy on the internet,
take credit for my beautiful work.
and I learned somewhere along the way that I was a wizard. So here's the thing: divine truth. Yeah, are you talking we're all divine beings of energy and light, and there is just one common God consciousness that we're all kind of a part of and party to?
What is this communist thing?
What's this?
Is that communist? Well, because it's all
no. It's all right. I wrote this story called I wrote this story called Haven's Fall. All right, and it's about multifaceted states of reality and how that kind of is in some ways this dualistic battle between negative positive forces within the world. And how do you go and talk about that in, terms about the things that are going on? Because ultimately, it's why I always talk about how trans, just the trans identity crisis kind of stuff that we've had pop up over the course of the last decade or so has more to do with transhumanism. Because there's these people who are anything that they can do to ultimately avoid forgiveness through judgment. Because, to attain ultimate forgiveness, you actually have to be willing to go through the ultimate judgment in and of itself. But the only way to actually have any kind of judgment on things in a discernible kind of sense is to have experience, which is why we're all manifestations of God. We're all merely but words within a larger story that we're all a part of, right? So
I
we are the story of life,
testing ground.
and every single one of us, is a part of the whole. And so that thing that exists outside of what we experience as space-time metaphysical reality, that God space, we are a part, and that's why we're in this weird schism, though, is there are people that would do anything they could to keep their consciousness here in this metaphysical state. And, that's the whole idea of moving towards singularity, of, getting people to be able to be put on hard drives and all this kind of weird fuckery that, the super science and all this kind of stuff, is this avoidance of being able to actually just take account and own up and just, because I have this belief that in the multifaceted state of things, if one little part of you finds its way into that ultimate space of oneness, right, and actually figures it out, then that is forgiveness. And through that forgiveness, the completeness of your soul is a part of that godlike consciousness experience, whatever. I don't think of it in the Sky Daddy sense. But, if you are on your way to be locked out of that, thereby kind of creating the schism, this hell-like kind of space, along with super science that leads to things like Large Hadron Colliders and possibly, incurring like a division of the central reality, because it's kind of like a modern Tower of Babylon. But through that
Tower
pathway,
Babel, you mean?
The Tower of Babel, sorry.
Yeah.
Tower of Babel. Through that pathway, a lot of us get lost in the weeds, basically. And so, if that is the pathway that keeps us all stuck here in this kingdom that is ruled by the airwaves and all this kind of stuff, the god of the air is basically the devil. And so we live in this compressed state of 2D reality. We're all talking to each other through screens. Our world is driven by shit that doesn't actually have any substance. And it's like all this kind of... So, I think that we are in some very, very strange times. So when you talk about what is objective truth, my take on reality and the way that I perceive things, truth to me is probably not truth to other people. But I'm trying to be as accountable and honest about where I take my sources from and challenge, things. Because if you just take it under the account of someone tells you one thing and then someone else tells you another, but this other person says, oh, don't worry about it, it's coming from me, and you just take that on account, because that's acting on a level of certainty rather than accountability. And, if you get faced with like these weird kind of pathway choices in life, it's kind of the whole idea of trust the science, like we were being told 5 years ago, right? And no, it's like you got to actually
Think for
take the
yourself.
time to actually think for yourself and question.
It's difficult, man, because I don't feel like I fit perfectly into one bubble or anything. Most people don't, truthfully.
Right.
And the annoying thing is,
Right. The only thing that's actually binary are the sexes. Everything else is, based on your own individual experience, where the time in which you grow up, like I was saying this the other day, like how in 2026, Brie Larson has more people's respect in this space than Jeremy Hambley. And if it weren't for her, he never would have got his shed, right?
Yeah.
So the times are, they're always changing.
Yeah,
and so
things
you have
change
to
a
have your
lot.
principles and your values.
Yeah.
And, because
And
if you get caught up in virtue signal and pride, then you can get really off course, as we're seeing, and that can lead to a whole bunch of other stuff. But I don't want Toasty just end up just sitting here, So
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Before
let
you
go
get totally
first.
lost and start looking
Yeah,
at your phone,
I don't want to
Toasty.
take over your show before we.
No, go ahead.
I mean,
You're
I
the
think
guest. If
that's one
anybody
of
should
the.
be sitting here
That's
bloviating on,
why I do
yeah.
this. It's up
Yeah,
to
I just wanted
whatever
to
the
set you up with my weird twisted take on all the stuff. So please, because I know you write comic books,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
you know,
well, it kind of ties into what you were saying about like holding true to your values and everything.
Right.
It's weird. I'm still figuring things out. I mean, the truth is, who isn't figuring things out? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like people
Right.
who say, you know, who are the most full of shit people are the people that think they have all the answers. You don't. You're not God. You know, you
Right.
don't. You literally can't. It's
Right.
not possible to have all the answers.
I'm smart enough
but-
to know that I'm retarded, not retarded enough to think that I'm smart.
Yeah. That's smart. I should use that. That's a good one. Yeah, no, I mean, one of the things
I was gonna
when
say
I was
something.
writing my comic series, I left them downstairs, but I have other copies. Is I kind of wanted to hone in on that, kind of that whole, like honing in on my values thing, and I think it was because I always have felt I had a very strong convictions and like
Right.
morals to me. And I always grew up on hero stories, and I think when I was finally like, I was in film school at the time, and honestly, one of the things that shifted my direction was what they did to Gina Carano. I was like, oh, she was polite as humanly possible, and they
And she was
still called her a
talking.
Nazi and did all of the, and she just like, she shared a unifying post that was like, let's not kill. And I remember every day, guys, let's not do cancel culture. Let's be better than this.
Oh, yeah.
And it would always fall, and they'd be like, you stop whining. And I'd realize they don't want to coexist, and that's a hard thing because I love
Right.
people.
Well,
I love talking to people, even those I disagree with, and it's kind of sad, in all honesty, when they choose.
Right.
It's almost like you extend a hand and they put a gun in your face. It's
Right,
that kind of
right.
feeling. It's and so I kind of had this mentality of I want to do my own thing, and I was seeing a rise in independent comics. I'm obviously a comic book fan as well as a movie guy, and I had this idea ever since I was a little kid, and I kind of re-evaluated. Like I looked in and I was like, well, why do superheroes mean so much to me? And like, why does the world need them? And that was what led me to create my series, which we're 3 in now. So it's resonating slowly but surely. The idea that you're gonna release something independently and just it's gonna become a hit immediately is obscene, and you get many harsh reality checks. I'm like, oh wow, I'll just release it and it'll get on every shelf in the country. And it's like that's not how. And then
No.
you do the logistics, and you're like, yeah, that's not happening.
Right. Especially, I'm sure, with the way that the mainstream aspects of comics have kind of had some overall aspect of effect on comic collection in general.
I don't know that they have the same stranglehold they had anymore, to be honest. I mean, I think
I suppose there's probably been enough time of adjustment that it's probably kind of shifted, because I'm thinking, the world's completely changed since 5 years ago, lockdown society. And
still
I know
crazy.
they seemingly want to get us back there again, but no, I did want to mention because like you were talking about with Gina Carano with what she was saying. I think that we're in this interesting place. That the last time it feels like this nation was united was all the way back when we were caught up in the Occupy Wall Street, because we all actually understood that we were just being debased as a people financially, and it was going to lead to things. And I think ever since then, part of the issue is that Wall Street's been occupying us instead, by basically funding the most extreme versions of the worst on the left and the worst kind of on the right, and it's leading to like these weird kind of cognitive dissonance, just playouts, or just like ways that things kind of manifest and come to fruition, and people will put something kind of in their shadow, and it'll just be in their peripheral, and because they're not actually dealing with a thing in this one point in their life, doesn't mean that it goes away. It kind of comes back and speaks through a different kind of lens. And so I think that we're just kind of like in a very, very strange place where people are wanting to actually just get back to some level of actual accountability. But we live in this arrested development surface state reality where, we're just on the carousel. We just keep going around and around again. And we're just caught up in like this clown world reality where it's like, someone will come to you and say, based on who I am, taken on my account. And so many people defer to that authority, whatever it may be. Trust the science. Trust me, I'm your friend. You know, trust me, I'm in power. You know, like all this kind of stuff. But everything, everywhere we look in our lives, you know, there are no real heroes right now, unfortunately. And so the whole idea on what does it even mean to be a hero, I think it does actually mean maintaining your principles and values at the expense of your virtue and your pride. You know, and
Your virtue, you said?
yeah, because virtue is kind of more of a surface level of it.
Think
Like
so?
I think a value runs deeper than a virtue, right? Because there's virtue signaling, right?
Right. But I
It's-
always saw virtue signaling as like a false front for virtue.
Right. But that's why I'm saying it's important to have your principles and your
Oh, yeah.
values rather than get caught up
Conviction.
in your in your pride and your virtue, because your pride and your virtue are a little bit more emotionally sounded, right?
Yeah,
Where
it's
a
about
principle and a value are a little bit
linguistics,
more.
too. Like-
So it's kind of when you frame things. Are you taking this world on a more of a reactionary emotional response, or is it more of kind of a subdued, responsible kind of way of dealing with things? You know. So are you caught up in just the back and forth, you know, or are you actually trying? Because I think what simultaneously happens, because we all have blind spots. There's no win way. Because again, it's hard for any one of us to actually be able to have such a you know, a superhero like level of impact on the world,
Right.
right? So it all comes down to how do you actually deal with things in your own, you know, pathway in your own life's journey. And so it can be very difficult and very rough because things are constantly shifting. Because again, like I just said, like the whole thing with Hambly and Brie Larson, you know, that's a drastically different take on who is someone that you would actually, you know, at this point in time, I think we're all just kind of like, I wouldn't really take either advice, you know, take advice from either, but I can actually be in a room with this one in the background a little bit more easier than I can with this other, and that's flipped, right? And so, you know, based on your principles and values. But if you're just going through saying, "Oh, but I got to stand by this person because I've been standing by him,"
now-
you know,
yeah,
you get too caught up
exactly.
in your loyalty, then you know, then that can cause all sorts of weirdness.
Yeah, I think there's people that will like pretend that they're one thing, and then it's like truly when reality sets in, you see like where they really stand. And I think again that was one of the things I kind of wanted to. Is kind of like with my book. It's really about a kid finding his way and stumbling and finding. Like he knows deep down what it means to be a hero,
Right.
but it's hard to figure out. And I don't know. I want to just show it off. We
Oh
got,
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'll share
please.
my. Oh, that is not it. I'll share my website first because website is where everything is linked.
Abe, thank you for the raid. Abe's gonna get ya. Thanks, Abe. Thanks for the raid.
Indeed. There we go.
Going. So this is my website, Rebel Oasis Studios. I felt that was fitting because I was always trying to do my own thing.
Right.
And so you could see the covers to the books I've done, 1, 2, and 3. 4 is in production. This is another short story I did. I'd love to do more of it.
Hey boys.
And then we got The Wraith Crown by that hack Bat Sauce that's coming out.
Right.
And then we got Reapers in Pursuit, which is a horror anthology book I'm doing. That has some of my favorite writing I've ever done. And you could read at least 2 of the short stories for free. In fact, one of them is even available audio. Some YouTuber did an audio version of
Oh,
one of
cool.
my stories.
That's
But
awesome.
you can go to my store. It has all a bunch of stuff. In fact, you could read the first 10 pages of Phenomenova issue 1 if you want. But Phenomenova, like I said, it's a superhero story set 20 years after World War III. It follows a brand new generation of heroes inspired by the veterans that fought during the war. So I wanted to really hone in on why I love superheroes so much, and they really are just the ideals. And I wanted to have these heroes that fought during the war to make it be like these... How are we going to live up to this? And you see this kid he doesn't have his costume. Then he has his makeshift shitty costume. He's not really that present in 3. 4, we're bringing it all together. And 4 is basically what I do is I crowdfund my campaigns on Kickstarter. Like raise whatever extra money I need, which basically is like in the form of pre-orders. And so you get access to exclusive covers and whatever. And then I print enough covers to the backers and a little extra to be safe. and then whatever extras I have are on my website as well as the main covers. So if you see the digital books, it's just $5 per book. There's the physical books are like 10, 20, and 15 if you want just the main covers, right? But then if you want the variant covers, then those are going to be double priced because they're all limited, and once they're gone, they're gone. So that's my website. And then if you go over to the Kickstarter, let's see if it'll work. All right, I'm going to have to just open that up separately. If you go to the Kickstarter, then you could see what's available for pre-order right now. And so basically this book, I was doing like 8 different tasks today. And one of the, more than that, and one of them was just making sure that I have everything ready in time for this. Phenomenova issue 4, which finally brings everyone together. You can get all the books on here if you want, or you could, wait until it's on my website. But if you want any access to any of this, it's going to be a limited print run like that. There's only going to be a couple of that cover, cover, the hollow foil cover, and then if you back all the covers together, you can get this one.
Nice. I do like the X-Men inspired
that one?
letterhead on that one. Yeah.
I'm a huge X-Men fan. So and here's the thing: if it could be as little as $5, so the people who back the Kickstarter, they get to read the book before anyone else, because it goes, website gets it afterwards. So Kickstarter, it's as soon as it's available digitally, everyone gets a digital copy. Then the physical people get it. Then it will be on my website. So if you want before anyone else, you go to the Kickstarter, and it should be closed within a week. So like the main campaign is over, but we're just collecting the last few until I'm gonna send it off to the printer, probably within a week.
Right. Nice.
But yeah, that's what I got going.
Cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Here, let's get back over here on that.
I could only imagine, like, is it like super expensive to do all this?
I'm finally starting to see a return on my investment. To put it in perspective. Yeah, and it's the most expensive thing is time. Oh my God. So many things I didn't like. Running your own company, I was always like, why doesn't everyone just do it independently and own their characters? And then you realize why, all the spreadsheets you have to make, the stuff you have to keep track of, all the costs, hiring talent. Do you know how annoying artist types can be? I mean, I'm very blessed.
I am one.
But even then, oh my God, like they'll be like, so in their thing, I'm like, all right, when are the pages coming in? When is the art coming in? When is wrangling talent? It could be pricey, and you have to shop around a lot. Printing is, oh my God, and shipping.
Oh yeah.
That's like, I wish I could charge. That's why the digitals are only $5, because the digitals, I'm like, it's already made, dude. I'll just email it to you. But the physicals I have to charge more for but I make sure when I charge more, like they're on this really nice paper. If I have to charge you more, I'm going to spend a little bit more to make up for it.
No, way back in early 2000s, like 2001, I was working at a printing press. So I actually did the sheeter press. So I know all about the variant kinds of costs that go into getting an actual print from a print house station. Yeah, dude.
And when was that?
This was back in 2000. I used to work WebCore
it's only gotten worse.
World. Yeah, it was. This was back in 2000, before the internet was really even hitting extended broadband capabilities. And we used to do I was on the sheeter press, and so we used to do cover sets for like Easy Rider. Was one of the more known ones. And then there was like other things, of course, because it was for the largest print company on the planet, and I worked on the sheeter press all the way back when. So yeah, I know just how intricate prints can be, because whether or not they've got UV coats, whether you're doing 4-stage, 7-stage, the paper stock, all that kind of stuff. You have to, the way that you go about doing the printing with the pigments is what they call it, because it's not really paint, but it's also it's such a thick kind of ink that it's more of kind of like a paste.
It's dude, the thing is the printing costs keep going up. I'll give you another example. You talk about how expensive things are. So I had been for months planning out. I'm like, I'm gonna go all out because I'm very good at selling my stuff in person, like getting rid of it. I had been doing mostly local shows to make, I don't want to go crazy. Now I'm like, okay, now I was kind of hitting a cap with all these. I'm like, I have more stuff. I could just shell out, and I could make more when I travel more, right? Well, within reason. You want to be smart about it, But so I'm like, I want to get in a place and just spend, or sell. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I get this road trip, and then the fucking gas prices skyrocket like right before this, which I had print runs planned. And it's a lot, but I learned to look. Even if I'm not making as much as I wanted, I'm making money doing comics. Finally, it's not a ton yet, and I'm working on, making it so it's actually more sustainable. I'm continuing to put stuff out. And that's part of why I want to make my books. They're still, if you compare it to a lot of, they're pretty cheap, especially $5 for digital copies is pretty cheap. And then there's also the physicals. I'm always trying to get my books as easily in people's hands as possible because,
Oh, yeah.
newsflash, you have the same 5 people, reading your book. I liked it. Okay.
Right.
And then that's like,
right. Because you want legit criticism. Because when people just say, "Oh, it's great" or "It sucks," it's like, well, yeah, cool, but that's not really telling. That's what about it is great or what sucks. Where is there anything that stands? Yeah, no, believe me, I know all about
fake news from Bad Sauce, who's pitch. By the way, when I was at his house, I started having car trouble right at the start of my road trip.
Convenient.
Yeah, convenient. Isn't that interesting? How that worked out? It's almost like it was projection the whole time. I finally figured out how the private chat works. I was so confused, so I put the links in there. But yeah, I mean, it's just creating my own stuff. It's also I don't have to sell it to a studio and have them just change all of my characters immediately. That was nice because I would get excited for an adaptation and be like, oh. And then if you ever say, hey, that character doesn't look right, they go, you're racist. I'm like, or whatever istrophobe.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like sometimes the character just needs to look like the character. I don't see what the problem is. And that's another thing where it's so much of this is so drummed up and intentional, and it's so dumb. But I don't really put that kind of stuff in my works. It's meant to be for everyone.
I'm just.
When did you first get into comic books and all that?
So I was always into superheroes, but I didn't read comics until I was in 6th grade, where I was reading Batman the Animated Series. I was watching Batman the Animated Series and reruns on TV, and then Batman Arkham City came out. This is 2011, and I go, okay, they keep referencing like this greater source material, the comic books, and so finally I'm like, you know what? It's Christmas. I asked for comics. And then I got hooked, and I would kind of get into it with phases. And then it was when I was in college for some reason at film school, I really got into it. I'd be into it for a couple of years, and here, and I like really got into it. And now I'm more into it than ever. And so yeah, 6th grade I would say is when I got into it.
All right.
But originally I wanted to be a writer, actor, director. I still would love to at some point, but
Right.
I had no idea comic books were actually very, 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 very cheap.
yeah, I mean, they're supposed to be. Yeah, I try to make mine as cheap as they can, but yeah, they are because one of the things that they're supposed to be accessible. That's why they were they printed on the cheapest paper ever. Yeah, they're cheaper to make compared to movies and stuff. Absolutely.
I thought like a book would be like, I don't know why I thought it was gonna be like $20-$40, but when I saw it was like $2, $3.
What, for a comic?
Yeah.
Wait, where were you shopping? That's great because the prices have been going up. That's awesome though. $2.
Oh, I froze again. I froze.
Yeah. I'm like digital's like $5. But...
Yeah. Like I've seen them being like $5. There's been a couple of places that have been they were like $2-$3 and stuff.
Oh yeah. If they're on the shelf, if they're on the rack, Yeah, those tend to be cheap. Yeah, I mean, it's typically so what it is. It's the new ones are that, but then often people, if like for some reason there's like a big reason why this if this becomes like, let's say it gets adapted into a movie or something, then it'll go up in value like crazy. Or like the first Superman comic, those are worth a shit ton now, but they were what, like 2 cents when they came out.
Wow.
Because that's what they would do. They were just like monthly. It's like magazines. Basically, that's what comic books were. They were like magazines. They're on the there's one every month, and then I would love to eventually do that. Let's see. Someone said I got my 1980 X-Men vs Avengers. That's a pretty good one. Oh wait. Oh, okay. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I've read the 60s.
There we go.
X-Men vs Avengers.
Now they're all posted. There we go. Your links should be accessible to everybody in the Rumble chat.
Right.
Well, actually, it should be all the chats because I did it here from the studio. So
Nice.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's one of the things that I liked, and I'm trying to make it as cheap as possible. To do comics, to get them digital.
Right. Well, I'm sure keeping the cost down on anything right now.
Within
in
reason,
2026
I
is-
can't bankrupt myself. I
Right.
would love to make them, dude. I'd love to if I could make my books $1. That'd be great. Mm-hmm. It's the tough part is convincing people to spend time on it too. Time is
Right.
money. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Well, especially in this day and age too, where a lot of things are kind of seen as
Distracting
being
you.
disposal, and it's there's everything's
well,
distraction.
that's distraction too. Doom scrolling. You have instant entertainment right here.
Right. Whenever you look in this direction, you're not looking that direction. So
Yeah,
where do you
yeah.
put your time? Where do you actually kind of dare I say the word of manifesting again? Like what are you putting your effort into that's actually going to take some kind of shape? You know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I mean, it's been exciting though. Like it's genuinely my childhood dream. Bringing that to life has been just amazing, and I'm excited to keep making them. And so far, I have 4 people like it. I'm working on 5 right now. I have the first 9 written, and I just want to keep this going and like keep it as long as I keep it affordable for people and keep it entertaining and keep it good.
Yeah.
Like worth your time, money, energy. And
You
so
certainly-
far, people like it. Dude,
Yeah,
which
you
is
certainly have all the talent, skill, and ability
Thank
from what I've seen that it would take. But the cost on things, unfortunately, that part of our state of reality has gotten to be a lot more weird,
Right.
ubiquitous because we've all been kind of commoditized in various ways.
Yeah, but I can whine about it as much as I want, but I'm doing my dream, man.
Oh, yeah,
And
just-
you know what I
yeah.
mean? So like I could be like, oh man, like I wish I could have done more. And it's like ultimately, people are buying my stuff
Mm-hmm.
and reading my stuff more than ever, which is great.
Right.
I went to Vegas and came back with money. That doesn't usually. That's not the. You're not supposed to do that.
I
Now,
went to
be
Vegas
fair,
and
the
left.
Temptation is,
Got out of jail, so I always like to joke that that's kind of like winning. And while you're in Vegas, as I got out on, what would have been, I found out that it's evidently $70,000 to break into a county jail, minimum. 'Cause,
$70,000 to. What do you mean to break into it?
well, I broke into county jail, and they held me there for a $7,000 bond, because it was 10% down on what, just it was on.
That's crazy.
Yeah, thankfully it all got
Yeah, I haven't
dismissed,
done
but
I haven't done that.
but I always joke that it's like well, it's kind of like I won $70,000,
That's
I got
nuts.
forgiven, anyways. Oh, he was just drunk. That's hilarious, sir. Thank you for the good story, and they let me on my way.
Oh, in
I
Vegas.
was trying to talk the whole
I
time.
know. I was about to say. I think Toasty might be muted.
What I was gonna say is
Oh.
when you are your own boss, it's very time consuming.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, you get to set up your own schedule, but you're gonna have to fucking,
Put in the time.
grind. You
yeah,
have
yeah.
to grind like crazy. Put in a lot of time,
Oh,
and that's the
God.
thing with like being your own boss or consecrating or whatever. People think it's so simple, it's so easy. Like, yeah, you're getting all this money and this and that. Like, I see people like complain about content creators and YouTubers and all that, like making loads of money, but at the same time, it's because people grind.
Yeah.
It's time consuming. It's not just like, you know, It's not
Yeah.
that easy.
No,
I mean, it's not hard. It's not like building a fucking building, like carrying heavy stuff or anything like that. Like that's different, but like it's time consuming.
Well, it is all consuming in terms of your focus, because even when you're not doing it, you're still.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of like that. Yeah, just being in this space, it has certain kind of demands. It's like anything, and if you're gonna do well in that area, you do have to put in the actual time and effort
Yeah.
for all the small steps. You can't just end up like leapfrogging from one thing to the next.
And I'm always writing down new stuff to do, and I'm very ADHD and whatever. And like to your point, today, if I'm my own employee, I'm harder on myself than I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
easier on myself. I'm like, if I worked it, I'm like, I'll work 12 hours. I'm like, I should still be working.
Right.
I'll be like even today, for example, I was so close. Like, I'm looking back and I'm like, I haven't done anything because I'm looking at my to-do list. You ever have those days where you're like almost check off multiple things, but there's something out of your control?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
been
There's
me
days you
the
wake
last
up
few
that are
days.
snake bit,
And it's like I'm like biting in like I have like 8 different directions and I'm biting a bit in each, but like nothing is getting like crossed off for the most part. And it's like I'm right about to get something, and it's just it's tough being your own boss but it's
well, as someone who can at least speak through the experience of time, the time that you put into it through the experience in and of itself, and actually kind of like getting those things, dealt with at some point, and just even the juggling aspect of it, that in of itself kind of becomes the reward through, because the experience has to be part of the reason why you continue to persevere and just do it, because that is what you signed up for. And when people start having the issues with the grind part of it, it's like, the grind, I mean, and of course, there is going to be some toil, and you gotta like kind of talk about it, when you're going through it, to kind of deal with it appropriately, because otherwise it can be all overwhelming and consuming. But that is part of the process of dealing with it. But it is not something that you can just kind of wish into existence on anything, for sure. And when you do hit those kind of achievements, that you actually earned it, and that kind of the money, of course, is necessary because it takes money to live, but yeah, just all the difficulties in some ways are actually even kind of in some way a reward, because they're your difficulties, not someone else's difficulties that you're just having to be an agent to, and just like just a little cog in a wheel, just acting about for someone else's ambitions and intentions. So.
Yeah. No, I mean 100%. And I love. There's so many times where I'm like, if I could have 10 of me, or just get someone else to do these little tasks, the little things they take. There's so many little.
Oh
things
my
to
god. I've said the same thing. Well, kind of similar. I've always said like I wish I had like 8 arms.
Yeah.
Cuz I could do my makeup, I could cook, I could jerk someone off at the same time. I could massage my scalp if I had 8 arms.
No, it's. I mean, you. There's never enough time. They never enough of you. So
Right.
it boils down to. It's tough, and that's I guess why people like need each other.
Right. Well, see, back when they did the COVID lockdown bullshit, and they did the 6 feet of distancing, I always took it for myself more about how, the energetic friction that we have about being around each other, that kind of herd immunity aspect. Those were the things that they were trying to actually break apart. People's ability to actually just kind of be in each other's presence.
Yeah.
Because I think that's part of the reason why people are so caught up in this hyper-reactive state now, because we're not even just kind of inoculated to each other just from general interactivity exposure. I think that's kind of really what was going on, more so than the 6 feet of distancing. Definitely had nothing to do with anything other than psychological controls and establishing this and that. But I think that the way that we operate, nothing in reality is solid. We're all frequencies, divine beings, light and energy, as mentioned before. And so in the metaphysical state, and the way that it oscillates and what makes us seem like stolid, that happens at a certain kind of frame rate, I guess, of whatever we experience time in. But those spaces in between where we're just part of all the everything. You know, that's kind of where I think that, you know, like we're experiencing. I don't know. It just seems like we're just kind of in this state where everything's kind of in flux, and you know, you can how you operate within that is how we experience it, say possibly in this reality. But there's, you know, the multifaceted state. It could be happening a whole other way elsewhere. But I don't know. I kind of lost my thought while I was getting into the sauce on things. So I suppose I will just let it back to you guys for a second.
No, let's let Toasty talk about
Yeah.
I really don't have shit to say.
All right.
Well, then shake your titties. Hey, right on.
There you go.
Yeah.
I try to make this like Tuesdays professional, because every other day I'll do this, you know, the goal, but like
Yes.
Works for me.
Which you're down for wheel spin? I guess on Thursday when we'll be on Rumble, because we can't do the Fallout live streams on the Exploitation Ghetto, obviously. And I have to come up with black bars for that stream,
Oh my god.
or I'll just have to
Have you
take it
ever
off the screen.
seen Fallout?
There's
Vaughn?
titties
The
everywhere.
show?
Yeah.
No, I haven't
Yeah.
yet.
Oh, the show's pretty great.
I need to play the games too. I haven't been sucking away all my time. I haven't watched Fallout. Do you like it? You guys fans of it?
Yeah. Series. We enjoy it. It's definitely controversial. Excuse me. Where some people do not like. You know, they just say that there's too many differences between the game and this and that. I give everything a little bit of wiggle room for adaptations, so I dig it. We do the show here with Roadkill and Hemp on Thursdays. And
I
we're on
have an
episode-
obsession with Ghoul,
Yes.
and I know that's weird, and people will look at me like you're weird. Ghoul is the guy with no
Walter
nose.
Goggins. Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen him as
Walton
like
Goggins.
his Ghoul
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Goggins. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's an enjoyable show, and if you're not really caught up in all the lores and this and that, if you haven't played the Fallout games, it's actually a pretty decent entry point to kind of at least giving you the spirit and the vibe. Toasty started playing the games because she started watching the show. And I got her to start watching the show because she likes to shoot people in the face and listen to old 1950s music. So
It's
great.
true. They have like the radios in the game,
Yeah.
and they'll play music and everything.
From the
I'll just stand there.
20s and the 50s. And
I'll just stand there, just listening to the music.
so, yeah. Yeah, if you have interest in like retro futurism, Art Deco,
I think
all
that
that.
stuff's awesome. Especially when I was I ultimately decided to make my future in my book not apocalyptic, but I find that kind of stuff interesting. Have you ever read the short story A Boy and His Dog? There was a movie in the
It has been a long time, but yeah, the movie was out in what, like fucking 80s?
Yeah.
75.
Yeah, as they say, yeah, 75 late. Yeah,
That's probably one of the most. I think that actually Fallout, I'm pretty sure, was heavily inspired by. A Boy
Oh,
and His
most
Dog.
definitely. Fallout. When you play it, there's references to all sorts of things. You know, I know years ago I talked to the head writer for like 4 or 6 hours. I was talking about the story that I'd mentioned earlier that I had worked on, and talking about various similarities of this and that. You know, and there's stuff like that ended up being in Fallout 4 down the line, and just like, you know, on some level, I mean, I don't feel like he stole it from me, but it is kind of like it's similar to the conversation I was having to him. But a lot of these themes that we deal with, you know, in terms of fiction, there's a lot of things that get influenced by all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, there's definitely things in there. They make references to, you know, the fridging thing with Indiana Jones in the Fallout games. There's all sorts of little, you know, there's constantly references to Blade Runner.
Blade Runner's the shit, dude.
Yeah.
I love Blade Runner.
What is that? Like a movie?
Oh,
Yeah,
you've never seen Blade Runner?
Toasty has not seen many things.
Oh,
Toasty hasn't
okay.
even seen one version of Blade Runner, let alone the 5 or
Alright, so you
7
only
that
gotta
I think
watch-
there is.
I think the final. I mean, I've seen the final cut and the theatrical cut. I haven't seen the. There was one in between, the director's cut that that isn't even really a director's cut.
Yeah,
I
there's
haven't
also
seen
the
that.
work print. I had the collection that had like all of them, all the way back when. Sorry, Toast. Go ahead.
I haven't seen a lot of things. I haven't
Yeah.
seen that. I haven't seen what's that movie with Wesley Snipes as a vampire?
Oh, Blade, I
Blade.
haven't seen
I,
actually.
wait, is that what we're talking
Blade.
about?
Yeah, I
How
haven't
old
seen Blade.
are you, by the way, Vaughn? Like, because like I'm wondering,
26.
like, is Blade older than you?
Might be. I think 1 year older than me.
Okay, so you're born like right in 2000.
I was 99.
99. Okay. All right.
Right? Because Blade came out in 19.
I graduated in
98.
99, and then I started going to tech school the following summer. So I left there shortly into the year 2000. So yeah, it would have been probably summer blockbuster 99, roughly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still need to see Blade.
Yeah. Because I distinctly remember because there was this one guy who lived at my dorm facility. He was from San Francisco, and he had like this incredible sound system that he got that he replaced because DVD was the new technology, right? And his car crashed, and so he took the money from his car crash and he bought like this ultimate home theater, and he used to watch. He got Blade on DVD, which is why I remember it. But yeah, he was an interesting guy. He borrowed. I used to have blue suede leather cargo pants, and he fucked them up by borrowing them because he used to go to raves and shit. And I can't stop thinking about the rave. But yeah, whenever I think about Blade, I always think about this guy. Like, just he had this because this was back in, like I said, 99, 2000, right back when before the world had any of the crazy shit that you probably just dealt with as just growing up as a kid who is, you know, your awareness to reality took place after the trade tower collapse. So, you know, like it's a completely different world all the way back when.
Oh my god, I feel so old. Especially when he said he was born in 99.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm
99.
aging.
Right?
That's
That
me.
shit catches up with you, man.
I know.
what you do.
I'm starting to notice, dude. I'm like, shit, dude. I was at a bar and then like this girl's like, oh yeah, I'm 22, and I'm like, fuck, dude. She might not have even been in high school yet when I was. I might have graduated.
No,
when I
those
was in
bitches
high
be
school.
lying, Vaughn. You gotta be
No,
careful.
no. I know bitches lie. I'm very well versed in lying bitches.
Yeah.
But some of them aren't, and some of them I'm like, oh.
Even those ones are lying to you. They're
Well, but
lying to
still,
you about.
okay, there are women that are 22 though, or 20. You know.
Of course, but
Right,
you
right.
know, you gotta assume they're all lying until
Right, but I
Right.
gotta tell you this, Vaughn. I used to be a young man myself. I'm now, I'm now,
Yeah,
I'm now
you know
far
how
older,
aging works.
and I'm just telling you. I understand, but I'm just saying, the line doesn't get any less frequent.
listen to wise man, John.
That's right.
This
Oh,
is
I
your
gotta
future.
tell you,
This
there's-
is your future, Vaughn.
So there's this book.
You don't want to end up in jail.
That's right. This is the cautionary tale coming back to tell you how to avoid ending up in county jail.
Dude, I wrote one of the short stories I wrote actually that's on my site is about a guy who's like hunting down a succubus. So that was a fun one to write because it was like this guy's like in a manic state, like you don't know how accurate what the narrator is saying is.
The unreliable narrator. Yeah.
Or is he? You know, I don't really answer that.
Right.
But he's clearly, it is objective that he is losing his mind, and he's and then there's I remember writing. I came up with while I was writing that story, I came up with another one that's also in my short story collection that I might make a comic on. Sanguine the Succubus Slayer. So she's a former succubus that hunts them down. She's like the Punisher for whores.
Nice.
So,
Whoa.
well, more so not actually for that. More for like succubuses.
Right.
Like obviously.
You said succubus, whores. You got my attention now. What is this?
Yeah, well, it's not out yet, but
Oh,
I want to make it, dude. Which first of all, Kickstarter decided to start. They used to do titty books, whatever. But it's the one thing my mom was looking at. She said, "Why are you making? What is this?" I'm like, "Mom, It's a good story, trust me.
Right, right.
funny
Some
'cause
stories, some of the best stories in the world have
sometimes you
titties
need
involved.
that.
And, you know, every single life story wouldn't be a life story if titties weren't involved.
Toasty, once I have more in this story, you'll be one of the first people I tell. But basically, what I wanted to do when I'm Phenomenova, like I'm confident I could start a new thing. It's like gonna be kind of so. The Phenomenova is like uplifting for all ages. Sanguine the Succubus Slayer. There's all these like comics that have like big tits and whatever, and they sell really well. And I was like, as a writer, I'm gonna get. I realized pretty quickly I'm gonna get fucking bored if there's not a story. Cause like,
Right.
oh, she does this and looks hot while doing it. Okay, cool. Like as an artist, I'm sure drawing tits for hours
yeah,
on
yeah,
end.
yeah.
I'm sure that's the
Oh,
coolest.
I used to do it all the
Yeah,
time.
I'm sure, but for me, so I'm like, I want to do something. I want to prove that you could do like a really cool story.
You don't want to be just style.
With that.
Yeah.
And so I wrote the outline for the first one, and I'm gonna revise it. But even just the outline, I'm like, fuck, this is some of my best writing. So I would love to eventually do it where it's gonna be like more overtly. It's gonna be overtly
Well, if
sexual
you need-
and still good.
If you need information about the nature of a succubus,
Oh,
you know, again,
Yeah,
I am an old
personally.
man, and I've been
You have any experiences with some succubuses,
Well,
John?
how many times have I had to restart my life because of you know, soul sucking energy from women? That's all I'm saying. It's like, you know, like I give you some like ideas on like where you can take your story.
yeah, dude. No, I'd love to. I'd love to even make it where like people could write their own stories in that. If I could make that take off, yeah, that's one of the other things too. Is finding like you'll never please everyone when that goes to like so like I just in general, you know, you can never make everyone happy, and
Right.
you have to the point with guilt by association. You know, I stream with all sorts of people. I find, you know, some, and then I want to tell all sorts of stories too. And the tough part is having that story side by side with my all ages book. How do I make that work?
Right. Right.
And that's going to be tough because a lot of people are like, you have to pick one. I'm like, but people make different things. You know?
Right, but we're also, again, it's a very different world.
Yeah,
A
it's weird.
lot
Well,
of
I
this,
mean, to be fair, that has always kind of been a thing.
Well, yeah, again, though, you're also talking about coming into it from a. I got a 20-year lead on you in life, you know. So, that's just kind of that's what I mean by it when I'm saying it's a different world. Like what in terms of where people's minds are at on, you can do this thing, but you can also do this thing, you know. You can have this friend and association, but you can't have this friend. We are definitely in. People know how to use technology, but they don't know how it works, and so like a lot of stuff kind of comes about from, you know, we used to all talk just as much mad shit as we do online in our own private conversations that just took place in bars and, you know, hanging out at someone's house or over the phone or you know, none of that shit shifted, right? But the spectacular aspects of it, the spectacle that people get caught up in, that has definitely become a lot more divisive in recent times, which is what I was saying, the whole thing about like with the Occupy Wall Street, where now it's kind of occupying us, and you know, the same kind of central control scheme mindsets are paying for, you know, the worst kind of groupings of people within a wider kind of matrix of thought, you know. And so I think that in and of itself makes people a little bit more reactive, and just the way that people have kind of been built, like the way the world has kind of been built into being into certainty rather than accuracy. You know, I'm for my team, I'm for this, and for, you know,
Right.
and people just go in, you know, and then it becomes just a closed circle mindset of trust the people that are already involved with it, and, you know, anybody that's not a part of it is highly suspicious, and, you know, so it's an interesting time, but I do think that people are starting to kind of get a little bit burnt out on it, because there is so much fake and gayness in 2026 that I think people are ready to kind of have a little bit more, you know, I guess, breathing room, because everything's bearing down. You know, this whole kind of lockdown society, when everything be under surveillance and this and that, and You know, I mean, there are plenty of people who used to put out their works that you know, something was for kids, and then they do these other things that were clearly not for kids, but it's just like you're just doing art. You
Well,
know,
it's
'cause
also, to be fair, it's hard having it on the same website or on the
right,
same
right. But yeah, the venues and things like that.
table.
Yeah,
And,
right.
So maybe I'll sell certain things at one convention, certain on the other. It's tough. It's really tough.
Right.
And because here's the thing: if I was working for a company and how I'm writing different titles, that would be up to them to market it. When you're doing something small, it's difficult.
But yeah, and yeah, you know, it's certainly a thing that we see definitely, like, especially large scale corporations. They have to be able to house, you know, very different kind of properties right next to each other. But it's a little bit easier for them than when you're just a single individual and you're kind of like, people know you for the thing. And so, do they want more of the thing, and or things that they, and what is it that thing that they want? Is it the quality of the writing or what the writing's saying? You know, is it the style of the art? You know, there's so many places that you can gain your audience from when you're talking about what is contained within it. You know, that's why it's one of those things where it's like a lot of bands and things like that, they get into the habit of what worked last time. They basically make you know, a new album of the exact same collection of sounds, even though the lyrics are kind of a little bit different or anything like that. Do they really show progress or anything? So I think that there's, you know, definitely a need for artists to express themselves through a wide variety of facets of their human, you know, just experience, you know, just living life, so that they can actually kind of be a little bit more profound. Because if you just start getting caught up in just one thing, you know, then you can lose your passion for it very easy. But
Yeah.
also, but then again, like, are you doing it for yourself?
That's
You
one
do
of
it for,
the
you
eternal
know,
battle.
yeah,
Am I doing
right,
it? Why am I doing it? Blah blah blah.
right. So yeah, and that struggle is definitely no different, even in this content creation space either.
Oh
So
yeah, I'm like, am
yeah.
I chasing an algorithm? Am I trying to do what makes me happy? Tomorrow, for example, I have my 100th episode of my show, and I'm like, should I do something different? Should I have people? You know what's a thought? And this bothered me. The thought crossed my mind is, I'm like, well, if I have this person, are they not gonna? And I'm like, I should just have everyone on, because
Right.
I don't like the whole, even when it comes to politics. Well, especially when it comes to politics, where it's like you have to have this and that and that and that, and I'm like, just let everyone in.
Right. Right.
You know, and if they want to make a big thing of it, let them be that.
Right.
Anyone who's down to have a conversation and who's down to check out my work. A lot of people choose to be in these bubbles, I guess, because they're afraid of getting hurt. I
Right.
think ultimately.
Well, I think you two are also kind of unique because you're one of these people who is even multifaceted in this space, in the sense of, are you a streamer that makes comics, or are you a comic that, you know, like, are you a comic writer, you know, that streams, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so, or a comic artist, like, I guess you encompass a lot of various skills, like you know, doing all the ins and outs of stories, you know, all of it. So, color work, inking, everything. So yeah, it definitely has to be even more difficult, though, because of just being the one entity, wanting to be able to do that, but, you know, all those limitations that it's like, well, if I do this, how's this, you know, and you never know until after the fact on a lot of these things, especially when it is creative. If you're, you know, just kind of trying to avoid something and it turns out not the way you expect it, then that's kind of like something else entirely. But when you're just trying to do something that's just, I want to actually say the thing, you know, because sometimes, and that can be a weird thing in and of itself, is, you know, saying what you actually want to say and the audience kind of not necessarily taking it, and you know, and sometimes it's like, it's not like you're even necessarily saying it about the audience. You might just be saying it because it's about the story, obviously, and because we do live in the times that we do. Because I know with Fallout, you know, in the when the series was first coming out, there was a lot of people that were going on about, oh, it's one of those capitalism bad games. It's like, no, or TV shows,
People
and
wanna
that's
put a
not
label on everything. Yeah, yeah.
right. And it's like, do they mention capitalism within it? Yeah, because and corporations, but that's kind of the thing. Like when people talk about late stage capitalism, I'm
I
like,
used
let's
to do
call
that
this
too. I used to
early.
get like oddly when I'd find myself in certain chambers or to get defensive about certain things. I'm like, okay, I can like capitalism and also,
Right, but be
Acknowledge.
critical of it. Right, because like
or even just acknowledge, even if I don't like, haha, They Live. I love They Live. That movie's
right,
very
and
critical of capitalism.
right, and that's why I always say like we're it's kind of like more like we're in an early stage of corporatism because there's a big difference between someone prospering through their own efforts, which is good business, and that is capitalism to me. There's a whole other thing when like you're kind of doing this profiteering thing and basing things based on metrics and analytics and so on and so forth, and trying to do all that is corporatism. Like that's something that commoditizes us, that debases us. Kind of takes away from the human experience itself, plays into that idea that no, you have to do it exactly like this, and you have to stamp out the exact same fucking widgets all the goddamn time. You can't change your, you can't be anything other than the product, right? And it's like, well, can't I just be an artist and just talk about the thing that I want to talk about? And if I want stories that are a little bit more accessible, I'll do that over here. And if I want stuff that talks about like this kind of aspect of the way that I look at the world, I'll put it over here. And you don't have to be necessarily a fan of this to be a fan of that. But as long as you're, because like I say, you've got people that probably haven't seen your comics or read them, but they probably just enjoy you as as a streamer. So
Yeah, and my goal is to slowly convert and chip away at all of you and go spend that $5. You want to, and that's my. But it's the. I have people I've been friends with for years. I haven't read their stuff, and they haven't read mine.
Right.
What happens? There's just not enough time in the day, unfortunately. And that's just how it is.
Right.
But I'm feeling good because the fact of the matter is, it's what the convention scene kind of taught me. It's really nice. It's kind of like you pitch to every single person. I pitch to every single person that walks by. What I don't think about is who said no, who said no thanks, who passed up on the book. I think about how many people said yeah, because when I'm looking at it, someone saying no, I don't lose money from that.
Right.
I lose money. I don't lose money from that. I just didn't. They didn't buy today, and they might buy another time, or they might not.
Right.
Either way, out of sight, it doesn't matter. I'm looking at the amount of tally marks on my ledger.
Right. That's yeah. And
MegaCon was brutal with that. It was no. But the amount of yeses I got,
right.
Money.
Right, and in my own artistic pursuits in life, I've always kind of looked at it that same way as the people that are going to support you are going to support you because they choose to support you. If they aren't choosing to support you, you can't, is piracy something that probably annoys people? Yes, but you know what? Those people weren't going to pay you anyways, and at least if you can get your message out in front of them, then maybe they might eventually pay you. Because they might actually kind of get to the point of like, oh, all this stuff that I don't pay for, there's actually this thing, because, and that's, I don't know, I always take the approach of, am I in this for my artistic expression or, because again, prosperity versus profiteering. Because if you get caught up in like, how do I go about making money the quickest way, then you can start compromising for certain reasons. And that's when you start getting caught up in that virtue signaling and doing things for egotistical pride rather than the principles of value stuff that, of these are my intentions. This is what I, and so you just try to make the stories about the stories and you let them speak for themselves and kind of try to, but let the work speak for itself. But also at the same time, you have to go on convention circuits, so you have to speak for your own work, and you're also here in this online space. So yeah, it's a very interesting kind of place to be in because there's no way that you're ever going to please everyone. And so I don't know.
That's impossible.
Right.
It's literally impossible.
It's impossible.
With because you think about that, and that kind of thought process drives you insane. Oh no, I used to get super anxious about it every once in a while, like even on the stream, thinking like, oh well, like everyone, or not on this stream, but every once in a while you'll have this thought, well, what if someone sees me? And it's you got to go, who fucking cares?
Right. And the more you try to be a people pleaser, the more you try to please everyone, the worse it generally gets. And whether that's in business, for the large-scale products that we see that go and homogenize themselves out to where everything's just the exact same thing with a skin job, or we see what we've been seeing play out here in just the last few days, in its own way because of that same kind of thing where it's like, you gotta. You gotta like deal with a very delicate balance these days.
Yeah, and again, that's why dude, if I had all the money and I could just greenlight all these ideas and all the time, dude, that script is that summary is so dynamite, where it's like so many people, because that's inherently a niche thing. Ew, Vaughn, this is so pervy. But you know what's gonna happen if they finally get past it, read the big? This is fucking awesome.
Right.
It's one of the most. Genuinely, I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, I wanted to write a titty book, and then I was like, fuck, man, I'm giving myself
Let me
the
guess. The
feels.
people saying that are mainly females.
I haven't really shown it to many people. I've shown it to a few, actually. Most don't. My mom was like, what are you writing? I was like, Mom, you don't understand. It's actually good. But no, I mean, you know, I'm at a point where I'm pretty confident in what I put out. And the feedback was, for the most part, really good, you know, which is, thank God. People that wouldn't kiss my ass are honest about it, and that's very good.
Right.
It's very good.
Right. Yeah, no, and it is good to I that is one of those things where I actually do appreciate my legitimate critics and people who, because you're more likely to get someone to tell you why you suck than why they actually like your work. You know, because they'll go into intricate autistic detail about how you suck with this and that, and like, so if you, in some ways, your haters can be your best source for you know, kind of retooling how you proceed, and that's not to be pleasing to them, but it's to actually, just because they will actually at least give you aspects of your work that they are looking at, where other people that just kind of support you in this space, you know, we've all kind of, oh no, it's really great, and it's like, you have any criticism though? Oh no, it's all because they don't know, no one wants to hurt your feelings. It's like, just, yeah, it's like, but I need that, you know. Sometimes you give me a little bit of grit, like, you know, help me, like, you know, like have you know, just a wider view of this whole thing. Because of course, if I'm looking at it from my own creative lens, that whole idea of being able to, you know, they used to, at least when I was doing it, we used to make dead baby jokes all the time. So that was the whole thing of there. You can't have anything sacred in you know, entertainment kind of driven projects and things like that. Like, you have to be willing to kill your own baby, so to speak.
I mean, I have to learn that I used to be really go back and forth. Oh, can I do this? Can I do this? Now
Right.
I know to cut lines that I like, cut scenes that I like. You know, there was this really cool bomb defusing sequence in an earlier draft of issue 3 that I had to cut because when I revised the script, I had placed something better, and it just didn't work out anymore. And it was a really fucking cool scene that I was really fucking proud of. Same with issue 4. Like, my artist drew something that was a little different than what I had in mind. And I'm like, okay. But, yeah. Sometimes it's just how it is.
Right. Yeah, no, there's definitely times where, especially when you start dealing with collaborative ends, how things can translate to someone else, and you know, that certainly you know, becomes the more people that you have involved with anything. It's kind of that whole thing on trying to remain true to visions and this and that, and that's to some degree how we end up in this situation where you do start kind of getting into the people pleasing analytic kind of way about going things, like, well, how can I get everybody, and so you start to remove the flavor from things and make it that more homogenized kind of whatever, and then it's just
I remember there'd be people. So one of the main things is like, people have seen superheroes this many times. Do something more edgy, more whatever. And I was like, that's not what I want to do, though.
right.
Or Land of the Lawless. It was like that 10-pager, which is free to read online. With the hot Western chick. If you go to my website, you click on that. That's free to read, and it's like literally, I was just like, okay, what are all the things? All right, so she's a hot chick, she's blonde, she loves America. Boom, let's make that. You know, and she loves guns.
Right.
All the things you're not allowed, and you know, but you don't just create from that place. But it was, yeah, I kind of keep thinking on what makes you happy. Now, here's the thing: work on what makes you happy, but a lot of the time that is work, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fun. But here's the thing, it's so worth it at the end of the day to have your characters out there that I could go through all the bullshit.
Right.
Oh, I have to look at printing costs. Do you know about paper stock? I didn't fucking
And
think of
paperweight
that.
and all that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't think of that shit at
course.
all. I'm like, what? Like, how thick do you want your paper to be? I'm like, bitch, I don't fucking know. And then
Yeah,
it's like,
what
now-
pound of
now I'm
paper? What do you
spending
mean
hours,
pound
like,
of
they'll
paper?
send-
What are you
they'll send
talking
me,
about?
like, they sent me like a sample kit, and I'm literally feeling like, ooh,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is
Do you want it
nice.
to be
This-
like a
ooh,
slick gloss or a matte pulpy?
Oh,
Yeah,
but this
yeah.
one kind of reflects weird when there's a light, and if I'm reading, it might
Right,
be glossy.
right.
You know, and I'm like, what the fuck? I just wanted to write a story, and now I'm thinking about shit like
Now
this.
you have to think about materials.
And
Yes.
sometimes it's almost better just to not look at it, because then you get the paralysis by analysis, where you kind of just have to go, no, you take care of it. I trust you. What do you think looks good? You're the professional.
Right, right.
Like, I used to be that with my artists. Oh, maybe see it from this angle, that angle. Nah, you know what? Fuck it. You draw it.
Right,
All right,
because
we
there
got a
are
deadline-
also
deadline
things
to
like
make.
you had mentioned, the luminosity of a page, and depending on the kind of paper stock that you use, is also going to affect possibly certain chroma aspects of the ink when it gets adhered to the pulp stock. Yeah, it's
Not so much. Oh, I didn't think of all that.
right.
Yeah, you don't think of that shit. I do
No.
obsessively, because actually not really anymore. Because I'm about to, like, I'm talking to a printer. They're like, what do you normally do? I'm like, fucking whatever I've done so far has worked, so we're just gonna keep doing that until someone tells me it's
Dude,
wrong.
I would be so clueless. I would be asking people
I was
like, what
too.
the-
I would spend hours on the phone going, what? Paper stuff. There's like, there's matte, gloss, satin, all
Yep.
different kinds. And I'm like, what? Because I've been reading comics my whole life, but I don't think about. Here's another thing you never think about: bleed lines. I had never thought about this.
Oh yeah,
Now
yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah.
major
You
issues.
have to
So,
oversize all your
you have
work
to
to a certain.
oversize. Not only that, but you have to draw it in such a way where if anything is so, no matter how far we've come in printing technology, there is always a chance something will get cut off towards the edge, which is why
Yep.
you have to make sure there's extra room. You can't
Which
put word
I can tell you all
balloons at
about
the edge of
because
the page.
that's yes, which takes us back to the printing press that I worked at. That is exactly yes,
He's
because
worked fucking everywhere. He's been like
well, yeah, well, the whole thing with the printing press though is the reason they liked me being there is because there is a certain amount of alignment that has to happen because of the color process, whether it's a 4-color process or a 7-color process, or like when you're doing the sheeters, whether it's got a UV coat on it or not. But it's that whole thing that you're talking about, not only with the bleed that you have to have, because when it's coming through, it's one thing to get it into alignment, right? And that means that every single roller is hitting to where the ink's striking in the same spot, so everything actually looks like one color image, right? And so that's the reason why the bleed becomes something that they have to adjust, because to get all those rolling drums to actually be in cycle, you're talking about like this thing that has like a little bit of shifting, and the cutting that's happening, you're instead of a train moving down a track, you're moving a track through a train when you're printing, right? And so getting all that to happen just right, you have to have all 4 corners. So yeah, you have to have like a good eighth of an inch to a quarter of an inch basically of bleed. Depending on what you're doing, the bleed has to be even bigger, which means that a perfect print is, those are hard to kind of get things exactly. You're never going to have everything fully in a frame of something. So like even when you buy limited edition collections or any print, every single print is technically a unique kind of stamping because of the alignment factors and things like that, and from where it went from your hand to when you handed it off to the printing press. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's so much.
you know what? I will say I've not okay, so I don't know if this no, it doesn't count because they're not really comics, but I used to read these
Oh yeah. I was gonna say Beard is is another comic artist
Oh,
that
yeah?
we. Yeah. You guys should have a conversation
Yeah.
sometime. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Of course,
I can
Toast.
hear you.
Sorry, I was just mentioning Beard because you brought him on screen. I'm just a bastard. I'm just a bag of dicks.
Yeah, you are a dick. Anyways,
A bag of
I
dicks.
don't know if this counts as comics, but I used to steal my mom's like love novel books. They were kind of like comics because they were drawn like comics.
Love novels?
Yeah, they're like the Spanish, I think, like books.
Novelas.
like novellas literally on paper, and there'll be like it's like comic. There'll be pictures and comic writing, and it looked like comic, but it was like a love novel on a book. It was a I don't know what it was called, but anyways, that's the closest thing of reading a comic book that I.
Love novels. I'll look it up.
Yeah, they're like Spanish ones. I think there'll be like a cowboy that wants
A
to get his
gaucho?
something. Yeah, his like lady and stuff, but they'll there'll
It
be like
counts.
drawings of them fucking and shit. I don't know.
That's one of the things too. People are like, oh, I've never read a comic before. And my thing is, I write for everyone. Whether you've never read a comic, you've read hundreds, you've read thousands. You know, I write good stories, and people in some way or another have read comic adjacent things. And I wish it was more mainstream than it is, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to no. Oh, wait a minute. I used to actually own mangas when I was younger.
Oh,
I
okay.
forgot about. Yeah,
What'd you read?
I used to own like, not gonna lie, I owned like five, barely. But anyways, I've read them.
Enough for you to qualify that you could say, yeah, I used to get them when I was a kid.
I didn't even buy them. They were actually just gifts.
Well, either way, you still have them. And you read them, right?
Some pages.
Well, that's right. Toasty doesn't like to read. Do you need me to read them to you, Toasty? Or do you still have them?
No, I don't have them anymore.
All right. Well, I guess I can't read them for you.
Yeah, I don't like to read.
I also have, I mean, because I like to do also, it's funny, that's all I talk about is if I don't have a YouTube channel. Like, I interview people, I try and figure out what I want to do, and one of the things that's like, I need to stop craving the algorithm and just create when I feel like it.
Right.
And I found often that's when I get my most, is when I just do something for fun. Although
Right.
that's not always the fucking case, because I worked for so long on this 2-hour Final Fantasy VII video essay, and I got like 1,000 views, and that's fine. But I'm like, I slaved over that video. I wrote a 49-page script. 49 pages.
Uh-huh.
And I recorded all of it. And then I edited all of it meticulously. I voice acted the characters when it was narrating scenes. I killed that video. Dude, that was my masterpiece. And then I'll do a video, it's like, hey, here's a quick video talking about this shit. And then I'll get like a couple thousand views. I'm like, fuck!
It be that way. I was gonna tell you because when I'm on X, I would do a whole paragraph or maybe
Oh, yeah.
of something like a weight loss, my whatever the fuck, like my little
Okay.
story and stuff. Barely get. I mean, listen, barely get the amount of like posts that I'll be like a picture of like this fucking tranny fuck, and I'm like, look at this fat fuck of a guy trying to cosplay as a woman, and it'll be like over 1 million, and it's
Yeah.
like, what?
Well, this again goes back to the thing that we were actually kind of just talking about in terms of, you know, the arrested development kind of state of the superficial, and people. The more you kind of get in depth on anything in the world now, that is more opportunities to lose people. So you got to just keep it quick, snappy, you know, within the whatever. Don't. People are fickle. Your audience is fickle. You know, like because you know, Vaughn. I know, like with your work, maybe part of the have you had people concerned trolling you just yet, saying, but you like you're big amongst people. You went to some
Oh,
turning
God,
point
yeah.
conventions
Oh,
and things
that
like that.
will
So
go,
do you
yeah.
want to put yourself? You know, I'm just saying though.
I've had a
will be
concern trolling in other regards, even within my side. Yeah, I've had
right.
that.
Yeah. So
You really got to be careful. My response, Turning Point, I was like about actually stepping away from it, and then the way they reacted to Charlie's murder, I'm like, fuck all of you.
right.
Fuck all. No, I don't give a shit at this point. Like, I care in the sense that, like, there's always that part of you that wants to be a good person, right? And I get
Right.
that. But the thing is, I haven't really lost any of my friends. I lost a decent amount of followers, but I'm like, you know what? I'm true to who I am. Everyone
Right.
knows I'm nice. I don't
Right.
unfollow my lefty friends or my even more
Right.
right wing friends because I'm somewhere between. Like by today's standards, I lean right.
Right.
By today's ridiculous,
I mean, though, that's the thing. Like, even if you're true to yourself, you lose followers, and if you're fake, you lose followers. So
Yeah,
it's
so you
like,
might as well just keep the ones that are loyal to you. Because I have
Right.
people that get more backers than me.
Right.
They
Well,
don't feel as
that's why
happy
it's
as me because they have to stream with people they don't like, or they have to pretend they don't like people they do
right.
like.
Because if you
And
get
I'm
into the
like,
habit
"Alright,
of people pleasing, at some point in time, it's just going to cause
Is the
even
money
more
worth it?
complications. That you, there's no way to, and there's no way to avoid the compromise of the complications in 2026. The only thing that you can do is try to avoid the compromise that leads to the corruption from not just being true to yourself and like actually kind of what it is and who you are, because yeah, there. But I know, like I said, I can only imagine there's probably going to be people out there be like, well, you can't make a comic with tits because there's people who are like that's going to go against their view of you, and you made this like nice wholesome kind of uplifting story that speaks to people of all, and it's like, well, it's like I need to do other things in my life, and I'm not. At last I checked, you weren't coming in here talking about being, like a parishioner or anything like that, or any kind of religious leader. So that is also one of those things too, in our day and age, where it's like what you kind of stand for. That's also why you don't want to get too declarative, is because it's like I'm willing to deal with people from all walks of life, and
And sometimes the beliefs are willing that it's okay to change your beliefs to
right,
not
right,
know everything.
and it's actually a healthy thing because the me that was experiencing, because the way the world turns, and even without all those strange changes that are happening on the exterior, just your own interior monologue based on experience through your relationships and just the passage of time and all that is gonna have some level of effect on you. Because I certainly try to be more responsible these days than just reactive, because I learned through being reactionary and this and that, and kind of I always tell people I'm a cautionary tale. I'm not anyone that anybody should like look at as a role model, but yeah, I've definitely learned a lot of things through that I definitely handle different now, and so that's always got to be something. If you're trying to maintain like a certain kind of image, you turn yourself into a product, and
Right, and that's the tough part with creating and building my own company. Is do I want to be a product? Do I want what is your brand? And ultimately, it's tough. It's
Right.
tough, but it's you gotta. I always try and be authentic and true to myself, and that means, if you're true to yourself and you're just a piece of shit, okay, cool, congrats, you're true to
Right.
yourself.
Right.
You're
right.
a fucking asshole still, and I think that's why a lot of people feel the need to hide is because they're insecure about who they really are. I'm not really insecure about who I am.
Which is the reason
oh,
why
I know I'm not. I get
Right.
hate from both sides because the way I look and what I do and how
Yeah.
I think and what I say. So it's just like they call eat shit, I guess.
But I was gonna say that's I think why those longer posts and things like that also kind of turn people off, though, because you are actually kind of saying, well, this is a little bit more of a nuanced take on where I
No,
kind
God
of
forbid.
see things. So,
God
yeah.
forbid. No nuance
Right.
allowed.
Right.
No,
Yeah. It's so
none.
weird. Like I keep saying, the only thing that's binary in this world are the
gender.
sexes.
Yeah, yeah.
Men and women, right? Everything else is actually pretty complex and sophisticated and nuanced to your own experience. And so it's always kind of funny that people want to hardline you on your politics or your this or your that, but then they're trying to say that there's 27,000 genders and
Yeah,
that
this
it's
is the one thing that's nuanced, and everything else.
right. So
they're
they're literally trying to invert reality,
Yeah,
where it's like,
Nazi it's like acceptable, and it's like most. You know what? It's just it's weird. And some of my favorite people in the world. I remember actually I had someone who was more right leaning. To be fair, they're part of this cult called Comicsgate, and this guy was he was like basically mad because I was saying like I don't care how you vote, and like how could you do that after what they did to us? I'm like all liberals.
right.
All liberals,
right.
they did.
That's why I
They
always tell
did
people
every
I'm an
goddamn- like,
American.
what are you
I'm not.
talking about? Like,
Yeah.
some of my best friends are, and look, I'm sure I say stuff that makes their eyes roll the same way, and it doesn't matter. I still
Right.
take
We
a
all
vote
have
for those
blind
guys.
spots, and there are certain levels of kind of none of us, and that's why it's such a wrong-minded thing to come out and to try to declare yourself as some kind of crusader zealot type of
You're not perfect.
being
No
able
one is.
to tell people how to live and what to, no, like that's when you
I mean,
really
giving
do
advice
open,
is good, but it comes
Right.
from often a place of, well, I'm a better person because I do
Because-
this, and I go,
right.
well, where's your morals come from?
Right.
Well, whatever the current thing is. Well, you'll
Right.
change your entire belief system in a week when it's not trendy anymore.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. And that's like the whole concept too of like, the gift of free agency. It wouldn't be a gift if it came with strings attached, right?
Like look at people like what was his name? People who lose jobs in Hollywood being Christian. None of them were in the Epstein files,
Right.
were they? Isn't that interesting? That like what's the guy who Neil McDonough, who's losing work because he refused to kiss other women because he's only his wife.
Right.
Or,
Mel Gibson,
Mel Gibson.
bandied about as a anti-Semite for a great number of years. And then like with the stuff he did with Sound of Freedom, and then now Sound of Freedom being infiltrated, quite literally turning the Sound of Freedom from an award-winning movie into a fart joke.
I heard that.
Yeah, so yeah, we live in a weird state of just magic that's being broadcast.
I don't want to do that with
Right.
Rebel Oasis either.
Right. Yeah. No, it is interesting times though to be true to yourself, put out good work, and then hope that people actually will still allow for you to have wiggle room to express different things. And through different kinds of just storylines and whatnot. So that way you can be able to just interact with more people, hopefully in the broad set, and they'll be able to appreciate, and because I'm sure that there'll probably be people that will say, I'm a big fan of Vaughn, but unfortunately they'll probably never read any of your comics, but they like what you do here in the space.
Are you talking about yourself?
I mean,
Shameless self-plug, baby. RebelOasisStudios.com.
indeed. If I have the appearance of a homeless dude who happens to be on the internet, there might be something to that. That is my authenticity. So,
That's fine.
yeah.
I realize I forgot to put this down here. No, but I get what you're saying. Jokes aside, like I do get what you're saying.
Right.
Where it's like it's tough, man. It's always tough to get that kind of stuff. You always have people that are fans. They just because I can't read everyone's stuff. It's
Right.
tough.
Right.
Oh yeah, like I get so many, dude. Like I've been exploding on X,
Oh God, I can't.
and I know I sound like Dan right now, but it's true. Like I've been having.
There's difference when you say it when he says it.
I've been exploding on X, and I've been having posts going viral and all these stuff, and I get like so much notifications and even get messages like you're fucking funny, like going back and forth with these fucking idiots and stuff. I got people messaging me saying they like to just see me go at it with people on X because it's just entertaining and it's funny and whatever. Or like even people saying, "Oh, congrats on the weight loss!" Like I'm losing weight too and everything. But I also get people kind of get a. I've had like one or two, three people like kind of get upset at me because I couldn't like write to them on time and stuff or like get back to them. And it's just like, but I get so many notifications now that I sometimes I
have
can't
so
keep up.
many.
I try to, like,
You should
as
see
much
my
as
desk
possible.
right now. It's
Right.
post-its. Do this. You can't get to everything. You
Well,
can't.
I know.
Now I know why secretaries exist. If I could
Yeah.
have some large-breasted women do all of my work for me, that would be great.
Well,
Try
I've
not to
been-
get distracted though.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why Toasty hired me instead of some large-breasted woman. She didn't want to get distracted, but yeah, no, like that kind of stuff can definitely get you tied up these days for sure.
Yeah. But anyways, you could wrap it up here. If you want, you could
Nice.
just like show yourself, whatever.
Show myself?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
like-
through and
No. All right. Yeah. So this is
I will see
Yeah,
if I
this
can
is-
repost all
There
this.
we go. This is We got. Let me see if I could. Do I have everything here? Also, make sure to check out my YouTube channel. It's just my name, Vaughn Coleman. I'm gonna be doing streams. I'm on Pimpcast every Thursday with Mike Harlow. If you go to his
He's
channel.
so nice. We had him on here.
Yeah, Mike Harlow's awesome. And then we've got, like I said, my website here, Rebel Oasis Studios. Get the link in the chat. REBELOASIS Studios, all one word, or you can Google it too. It brings you to my website. You could read the first 10 pages of issue 1 for free. You could read it with a Global Comics membership. We got issues 1, 2, 3, and the 4th is on Kickstarter now. We've also got this story that's free. We've got some of my anthology stories are in there. You can join my email list, keep up to date on everything I'm doing. And then that's it. Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and keep an eye on all my socials. I'm on Twitter. I'm
There we go. All the links should be.
Oh wait, did I share my screen at all or no?
Oh yeah, no, I shared it.
Okay,
I did all the
just
stuff.
making sure because it's blank here.
Oh no. You did it. It just pops up again for some reason
okay.
sometimes in the dynamic area. It's just one of the little quirks of EV mugs. But yeah, no, it's been great having you here, Vaughn.
Thank
Definitely. Yeah. Like I say, you're the reason why. So there's a reason why you're the favorite. But of course, with that said, though, feel free to get a hold of me in texts, MSK. I will come back with coffee. I mean milk. I still need to go get coffee first. Yeah.
Coffee.
Yes.
All right, so it's gonna be a long trip.
Yeah, but yes, but no, it's definitely been great having you here tonight. If you're ever free for our panel nights on Fridays or Sundays, you're definitely always welcome there as well.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. And of course, those people can always find around here at 8 p.m. Eastern. Toasty and I do this Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at that time. And then otherwise, you can always find me at 11 a.m. Eastern, bright and early Saturdays on the Weekend Culture over on Honey Badger Arcade, and also at that time on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays on Will's channel with obviously Will, of course, Ira Soroda, and the Toasty with the Mosty when she decides to join in with us. But I do want to thank everybody who took time out of their day to hang out with us this evening in the chat. We do appreciate all the support, whether it's likes, shares, follows, reposts, any kind donations that may come our way. All the support is greatly appreciated. Thanks so much, everyone. Of course, with that said, y'all have a wonderful week going forward. Of course, safe travels ahead, and obviously be awesome as always. But of course, you want to speak to the person or hear from the person that who actually has this channel. Toasty, what do you want to say to everybody before we get out of here?
Yeah, you can find me on Saturdays on Iron Oxide's podcast. His streams are on. They're at they start at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, so you can find me there on Saturdays.
Thanks.
That's it.
Oh shoot, yeah, I forgot to even promote that I have my own streams tomorrow and Rogues Gallery. So yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and then we
Duh.
sometimes Vaughn gets on there with us too, so
Yeah.
sometimes you can find us both on
I'll be there this time.
Iron. Yep.
some interminglings. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enjoy some complimentary burritos and tacos on your way out. Get some horchata. They have all sorts of
I'm
stuff over in Roadkill's taco
And follow
truck.
me on X.
And follow Toasty on X. Engage with her
That's
there.
right.
That's right. Help her get some monies coming in.
Yeah.
Every little bit of engagement helps everyone, especially on X. Anyways.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Peace.
Check y'all later.
Furious Dan flips shells on the grill. Roadkill wipes the counter still. Truck parked under the cold moonlight. Dreams of fire, but they can't ignite. tacos and heartbreaks, that's all we got. Two lost souls in a parking lot. Alyssa cried and the night stood still, kicked from the concert against her will. Roadkill says, man, life ain't fair. Dan just shrugs, smoke fills the air. They used to sing, they used to play. Now it's salsa stains and bills to pay. Alyssa screams, the bouncer's blind. Toasted plays, she's left behind. Tacos and heartbreaks, that's all we got. Two lost souls in a parking lot. Alyssa cried and the night stood still, kicked from the concert against her will.